when I get a gift, most of the time, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I get all my gifts at Boscov's. Yeah, and you know why I get them all at Boscov's? Because if I bring my receipt up to this nice lady up on the second floor, she's going to wrap that gift. And it looks like it came from Santa's workshop by the time she's done. Whether I'm getting a birthday present for my grandchildren or something for somebody here at the church, I almost always, 95% of the time, because it's wrapped a certain way, that makes it special. That means that I didn't just grab something off the shelf and throw it at you, but that I took the time, even if it was just the time to stand in line and get the gift wrapped, to present it to you in a certain way, so that it would be beautiful. We went to Carol's party a few weeks ago. How many were there? It was awesome, wasn't it?
It was.
Especially the juggler.
The juggler.
And I remember the next Saturday we went to Enrique's party here. And that was beautiful. And it's the same way the presentation was so beautiful. Somebody went to a lot of time and trouble to set up all those little things, little farm animals around there for Enrique's birthday. Do you think Enrique knows anything about what went on? Not a thing. Sophia maybe some. But was to bless the people who came to the party. And when we give our presentation and our worship, it's important. We dress a certain way, and we prepare to come. But now here's some things that we can do. First thing I want to talk about is eye contact. And some of you don't like eye contact, as I can see, because as I'm teaching the class, you keep putting your eyes down. And so that's okay, if that's how you are naturally. But when you're up here, see, then it's not okay. Because when you're up here, you become an ambassador for Jesus Christ. So then, even if it's not something you like to do, if it's not something you're used to doing, maybe nobody in your family ever gave you eye contact, but people feed on eye contact. Jesus said, if the light, that if your eye is good, your whole body will be filled with light. And so, like, if we're reflecting the love of Christ through our eyes, that we can have that opportunity to reflect the love of Jesus as you're singing. And if you're just right here, like this, I know you're doing your best, but if you're standing and you're like looking, and usually what I'll do is I'll look, and then I'll look, and then I'll look like this. And what I like to do when I'm doing by myself on Wednesdays is I'll take my guitar, and the people, if they're seated in a circle, whoever they're seated, I'm going to walk around so that each one, at least for one moment during that time, has just me and them and nobody else. Just me and them singing that song for them. I want them to know that I'm taking this gift that I have and I'm wrapping it the very best that I can so I can present it. Say, Carol, here's my gift to you. It might not be everything you want, but it's the best that I have to offer to you. And that's what we do when we give eye contact. There's an intimacy that we give spiritually with people. When we look at them, we're saying, you have value. You matter. And you matter to me. And if you matter to me, imagine how much you matter to Jesus Christ. It's important that we maintain that eye contact, that we give them. Oh yeah, the thing about the book. I learned this from a choir director a long time ago. We don't have choirs anymore, so it's hard to relate. But we used to sing from choir books when you're in the choir. Do you remember ever singing with a choir book in Brazil? Did you ever? Well, we had choir books so that when we would sing the song, there would be like this book, and so you would open and your words were here. And the worst thing to ever do was this. Because A, you can't hear the person, and B, you can't see the person, and you're cutting off that eye contact. So if you've got the words in any particular way, if you've got them in a book, if you've got them on your iPhone, or your pad, whatever it is you're using for words, or if you've got it memorized, that's even better. But if you don't have it memorized, it's okay to use words. Here's how you use words, like this. I don't know if you've ever noticed when I sing in the front of the church, I always have the words down here. Because I know always Vilmar, when he comes after me, if I'm on Thursday night, he comes and he pulls this thing back up here, so because he likes it, he never understands it. And I always have my microphone, and people will always adjust my mic, and they'll put my mic here. And I'll always readjust the mic and put it here. And you think this is just like silly stuff, but it isn't silly stuff. It's because I'm still maintaining that focus on you. I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. And so all these little things, that nothing's going to come in between, nothing's going to come in between me and the people that I'm ministering to. That's what it's all about, because we're there to minister. The word ministry means service. Like when we wash feet, it's service. It's a service. We're bowing down to give to those people. And so all these like little things, they matter how we do them. So they're just like little things. It's not like you're a bad person if you do it a different way. This is just helps you to do a more effective job of presenting the ministry, because you practiced so many times on these different songs. I know you're dedicating the effort. I just want this effort to be wrapped in a way that when we present it, that the people will be like, wow, this was really a blessing. Second thing I want to talk about is volume. As people grow older, what happens to their hearing? Yes, they start to lose some of their tones. They don't lose hearing in the way that you think, like, well, some people do, where they just lose all hearing. But for some of them, they start to lose the high tones. That's usually what goes first, and then in some of the lowest of the low tones, but that's not usually a problem. They lose their high. They can't hear those high notes the way that they used to be able to hear them. So one of the things they do, and it's natural for me to do this anyway, is we bring all the keys down to as low as we can sing them and still sing them. Because, I don't know if you know this, but like a sound wave, the low sound wave will travel much farther than the high sound wave. It's just natural, because it's got a longer wavelength. If you do code, I don't know if you even know what code is anymore, but on ham radio, if you do code, because it's on a long wave, if you do code at night, that kind of code, you can send 2,000 miles that signal, because it's on that long wave. So when you're singing those low notes, they're going out and the people are singing, so we adjust the keys down a little bit. When we speak, it's not just about shouting. But I had a music teacher when I was about 15. Who's 15? Okay, when I was 15, that was the first time I got involved in like a professional presentation. I was involved in a theater presentation when I was 15. Was I the star? No. I was in with a whole group of people that were in the chorus. But we all got the same training. And the leader, this lady, she would sit way in the back of the theater in the last seat, and we would sing without microphones. And while we would sing all through the night, you know what she would say? I can't hear you. And then she'd make other people stop, so only one person singing, so that it couldn't hide behind the other people. They want to hear you. There's different ways of hearing. It's not just about raising your voice to a higher level, because that causes stress here. We don't want to cause stress to your voices. This will protect you. Actually lower your voice. My grandpa was a captain on a ship with 1,200 men. He never shouted, but everybody listened, because he would like lower his voice. He would have this tone up here, and all of a sudden he would say, "Front center, everybody over here." And everybody would be like, "Whoa!" "Aye, aye, Captain." And we all called him Captain. when I was little, I called him Cap, or we called him Captain. We all obeyed, because he had that way of lowering his voice. And when we lower the voice, it projects the voice out. We want to project our voice out to the people. We open, look at me, look at me. We open the mouth when we speak. Because if we speak like this, we keep the mouth closed. Your mom is great. When I was first learning Portuguese, and she'd be up in the front of the church, and she'd be singing or speaking, she was the best because she opens her lips and I could understand everything she was saying, because even if I couldn't hear every word, I could see her lips moving. And it caused me to be able to understand what she was saying much better than somebody that went, oh. So when we enunciate while we're singing, it's important. Open your mouth. It's like a vase. We're like a pitcher of water. The music is the water. And when we open our mouth to sing, what we want to do is we want to open and pour the music out of us to the people. I wish I could sound like some of the great singers today, but I'm not. But I can sound like me, and you'll be able to hear me. You might say, wow, he's got a terrible voice, but I heard every word. That's okay, because the idea is that I communicate, that you can communicate better. The people love you so much there, but they can't always hear you. So these little things that I'm suggesting, they're going to help you to be able to project your voice out there, so that the next time when we go is going to be Thanksgiving. When we go at Thanksgiving, they're going to say, wow, I heard them this time better. Because especially the way they're seated, it's like really a challenge to try to, because they're seated one behind another, and behind another, behind another. There's no like semicircle group like I get on Wednesday, so it's really difficult. But if we focus on it and we think about it, we can improve. There might be some little points. Oh yeah, buy a microphone. We could buy a mic. We could buy a couple microphones. Microphones are cheap. I put in here, if you go up on like eBay or something, you can probably get them 30, 40 bucks used. You probably get brand new just down at Guitar Center for 50. Is it a good mic? Is it the best mic? No, it's not, but it's a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've got something that we can plug it into, or we can get a cheap amp of some kind and plug a couple mics in, because a couple mics will help. But so when we don't have mics, we can use all these other tricks, because before there were microphones, people sang. and there was all these ways that we learned that even without all the accoutrements of the modern day, that we can communicate the voice. But if we could get some more mics, mics are cheap. Invest in your own ministries. Each one of you has an individual ministry, and I see you doing that. I think I put in there, consider voice lessons. That isn't going to ever make your voice, well, it might make it a little better. It's not going to make it better, but it's going to protect your voice. It's so dangerous right now at your age, because you've got all this energy. If you get involved in doing too much singing, that you could really damage your voice if you don't have proper training. So even if it's just a couple music voice lessons, like a month, not necessarily saying years of it, but a couple months of voice lessons, you'll learn a lot of secrets from a professional teacher